It's almost 11:30. Already falling asleep over here. That's right, it's Monday night. Gotta do my review for Raw. But you know what? It's not going to matter what I say about this show, because I'm still going to think that this show just absolutely sucked. Oh. And we're already live. What do you know? Guys, what is going on? This is a Club of the Man 1993 coming at you. And I just woke up from a glorious nap. Yeah, right, I did. That was all staged. Because this describe how I'm feeling right now. I'm drained out. 3 hours of this. Man, Raw really got the rough end of the Superstar Shakeup this year, guys. It's not just that. It's also that the writing has gone down even further down. It's gone down, 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 down. Down deep into the ground. And let me tell you something, guys. Last week's show wasn't that great. I felt this week's show was worse. This show just presented way too much. There's too much content. We had a breaking news announcement for us earlier today about the Raw Women's Championship that they showed the whole thing twice. In a bunch of matches, a lot of tag matches, and a lot of, multiple person matches also with these qualifying matches. It just felt like it was just too much. And a few of the matches weren't that bad, but it was pointless. There was no direction in this show whatsoever tonight. It was so hard for me to try and get through this episode of Raw, guys. Like, literally, I tried my best to stay awake now. I was working all day. And then, oh my goodness. Poor London. They saw a crappy show tonight. This show was just garbage. Complete garbage. And I'm going to be ranting again about a few things, because there was a lot in this show that just ticked me off big time. Live chat. Let's see who we got in the live chat so far. We just have Dakota. He said, dude, after the first match, it went flat. I mean, Corbin, Rude, and Jose had a good match, but those were the only two. Yeah, surprisingly, the match with all the more low-card guys for the qualifying match actually was pretty darn good. I mean, it wasn't, great, but I thought for the talent that was in the match, it was decent. I definitely thought that match was definitely passable, but oh my goodness. Man. Oh, where to begin? Where to begin? Let's just get started with the show. Again, took place tonight, May 14th, 2018, in London, England, the European tour. We'll be back in Albany, New York next week, as we had the last two qualifying matches for the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, and we also had the next match for the women's Money in the Bank ladder qualifying match. Of course, the men's one would probably be filled up tomorrow. I don't know if there are going to be any more qualified matches on SmackDown tomorrow, but the women still has their way to go, since there's only 3 people announced so far. And so yeah, let's get right into this. Get right into this show, as I just couldn't stand this show. Yeah, Raw at least before WrestleMania, and the Raw after WrestleMania also, was at least somewhat bearable. It wasn't like lighting up the lighting up my thoughts, or whatever you want to call it. I can't even think because I'm so tired. It wasn't like the most must see, but there was a lot of stuff that was intriguing, had me interested. And these past weeks have not had me interested at all. And I tell you what, I am scared to death for next week's episode because of something that was advertised for next week. You probably know what I'm talking about right now, but I will get to it later on. But let's get right into this episode. We opened up with Roman Reigns making his entrance. I heard no cheers at all. I heard all boos. All boos. I'm not talking about people are drinking booze. I'm talking about they were booing Roman Reigns to death because his booking has gotten even worse, because the WWE is going the back to the literally just like shoving him down so far down our throats that all of his booking absolutely makes no sense at all. Like now, WWE is making themselves look stupid, and I've heard recently that apparently Vince McMahon claims that he was not that upset that the crowd was walking out during the main event. Oh, it was almost 11:30. Kids gotta get up and go to school the next day. Raw's not that liked in Newark, anyways. Has it come to that? First off, well, actually, here's the thing. It shows that as long as he has your money, that's all he cares about. He didn't care about people walking out in that main event because he has his money. He's using the latest excuse to cover his ass, saying the fact that, oh, the show is going to late anyways. So the kids had to go early, go to school. Well, most of your shows run late anyways. It made no sense. Just like this promo absolutely made no freaking sense at all whatsoever either. So Roman says last week he was robbed, and this time, and of course, I just snapped as soon as he said this. This time it wasn't by WWE management, but rather by Jinder Mahal. So it's going to cut right to the chase, and if Jinder wants to be more relevant than he's ever been, he'll come down to the yard and face him like a man. Kurt came out, and he tells Roman that Jinder won't be coming out, and Roman asks since when does he speak for Jinder, and Angle says he speaks for WWE management and received the call of the week and informing him that he was thinking emotionally when he denied Jinder a chance to qualify for the Money in the Bank. As a leader, he should be thinking logically, and that's what's best for business. Mahal got a chance to qualify in a triple threat with Elias and Bobby Lashley. And Roman says that's perfect, and he wants in so he can beat Jinder and qualify for Money in the Bank. Kurt says it's not happening either because management has made it clear that Roman will get no more qualifying opportunities. Angle says he knows how he feels. It sucks. He's got screwed a bunch lately. He doesn't blame Roman. He's upset with him. And the big dog says he gets it. He has a family and a job. He's doing what he has to do. But Roman says he's going to do what he has to do. So he heads backstage. He's asking people, where's Jinder? He finds Jinder randomly standing there, and Mahal throws Sunil Singh to Roman, and they brawl, throwing trash cans at him. They get out onto the stage, shows a Superman punch, and they break it up, and then they're just breaking it up pretty much. So they end the brawl just like that. So let me get this straight here. Roman Reigns has been in 4 WrestleMania main events in a row. He's gotten how many title opportunities? The character himself, several weeks ago, said, and I quote, I don't know why they're giving me this title opportunity at WrestleMania. He won his Elimination Chamber match to get his opportunity. And yes, apparently the referee made a bad call because once again, WWE says change up the rules whenever they want to. Apparently your feet are supposed to hit first on the floor in a steel cage match, not any other part of the body. But now all of a sudden, Roman Reigns, the character, has the balls to say that management is holding him back. Let's step back here for a second. Again, 4 straight WrestleManias, and one of them included a storyline that could have worked out really good with Triple H, but then they decided to hand him a title opportunity the next night, even though, here's the thing, after Roman Reigns lost to Triple H, lost in the Royal Rumble match in 2016, Triple H clearly said in the show that Roman will never get another opportunity again as long as he is champion. But at the end of the night, they throw Roman into the triple threat match at Fastlane for an opportunity for no reason at all whatsoever. And now they're trying to make it seem like, oh, the management is against him. Well, you know what? He lost his match. He lost his match, clear and simple. Now you're just coming across looking like an asshole, pretty much, and making Jinder Mahal look like the babyface. Like, again, I don't want to even view Jinder as a babyface. I don't want to even support Jinder either. But he had a point last week saying now Roman gets title opportunities left and right. And then Kurt Angle says this fact that how he let his emotions get to him. What emotions? What emotions? We're not putting Jinder in the match. What did Jinder do that made you feel emotional? He knows for a fact that Jinder Mahal does not deserve his opportunities. He hasn't earned them because he was shit. He was shit. They were trying to make gold out of, and it did not work. As I've said how many times. And now you're throwing the two hated guys in the ring together for a main event feud that's not going to work. Roman Reigns versus Jinder Mahal is not going to do anybody any favors. You hear me? It's not going to do anybody any favors because it makes no sense. You have the guy who main evented WrestleMania for 4 years in a row and who was handed another opportunity at the title, don't know how it happened. He even questioned himself, and then he has the balls to say that management is holding him back. And I got this t-shirt for Christmas a few years ago. I don't get it. WWE, if you are so obsessed with making Roman Reigns a top star, then why are you going out of your way to just troll us with him and not even do good writing? As I said before, last week and the week before that and the week before that, there were 7 men in that Elimination Chamber match. And you wrote somewhat of an intriguing story for each of them winning that match except for Roman. They were coming out, cutting promos each week on stuff. But Roman was fighting Sheamus one week. He's fighting, somebody else another week. He was pretty much just fighting matches, acting like just the last person in that spot, just filling the hole. And I still, to this day, do not get why that match needed to be a 7-man chamber match. I don't understand that one bit at all. One bit. I don't get it. So, yeah, Roman gets a beat down on Jinder because he thinks management is, against him. So this is exactly what's happening. Again, let's map out so far. Let's start. Let's see. Roman Reigns 2018, John Cena 2012. John Cena lost his big match at WrestleMania against The Rock. Roman Reigns lost his big match against Brock Lesnar. So then we have Roman Reigns' feud with Samoa Joe, big man, championship material, who is, coming into WWE, returning from an injury, going on to his own show, could use this momentum by defeating Roman Reigns at Backlash. He loses in a snooze fest. And then we have same thing with Brock Lesnar and John Cena. And for no reason, John Cena beats Brock Lesnar. But then, let's look at it this way. Then we have John Cena going on the feud with John Laurinaitis. How do you go from beating Brock Lesnar to then trying to drive John Laurinaitis out of a job? And now we have Roman Reigns feuding with the weakest, boring, terrible champion. I'm thinking of all these adjectives now. It's Jinder Mahal. The pieces of the puzzle are fitting in. And, of course, next year we'll probably get Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania again, if not at SummerSlam. And I don't care anymore. They're trying to throw pity parties now for Roman Reigns out there. I said this before, again, I defended the guy about a month or two ago saying that, yes, he's a good talent. His promos have gotten better. He's feeling like he's getting at least into his own element. And that's why I was at least being a little more accepting of his match at WrestleMania at first. But then when the match happened, like, oh, no, this sucks. I'm done. And now it's gone completely downhill. Because WWE has constantly, held things back from capitalizing on things that they want to capitalize on because they're afraid that Roman's not going to get that reaction wanted. Well, if they're not going to get the reaction that you want, then stop doing this and turn the guy heel for once, or just do something different for crying out loud and stop booking him in ways that you're just going, oh, screw you all. We're going to just troll around with you. You're going to think you're going to get something, but then you're really not. Well, you know what, Vince? We're sick of it. We're sick of it, and this Jinder Mahal feud caps it off. I will be, if they have another match, which I hear they most likely are, at Extreme Rules when I go there in July, I'm going to boo the heck during that match. I am not even going to cheer for either one. I'm not even going to care. Hopefully the show is still good, because hopefully I will still care about it, because it's probably the main event of Extreme Rules. You watch, it probably will be, not the championship match. Who we got? At least Lashley brought his old move back. Also, Shawn Mendes' own theme song sounds like more of a match for the title tomorrow night. And did you know it was Vince's idea to put Ziggler and McIntyre together, not Triple H? I did not know that. The only difference in Lashley's finisher is he turns them now. It used to be a reverse power slam. For me, that Dakota. But, yep. Pointless opening segment. Don't care about this feud. Not at all. So we got that. But then we had something good. The match of the night, Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins for the Intercontinental Championship. Another open challenge, another great match by these two. It was just, it was one of the matches that, it was, I think it could have been just a little bit better than it was. It could give just a couple more minutes, but I think this was a strong match. Like, I remember being a little bit disappointed with their feud they had at Clash of Champions in 2016. Well, the feud they had in the fall of 2016. I mean, their Hell in a Cell match I thought was good. The match at Clash of Champions was disappointing. They would have had a match like this at least at Clash of Champions. This is what I was looking for. Just great back and forth action again. And Rollins saying that he wants to make the Intercontinental title the title on Raw. # Brock who. But yeah, it was a great match. Of course, there was some great moves there where Rollins hit a Falcon Arrow on Owens on the apron. The couple action outside the ring. We had the curb stomp from the rope for the victory, and Rollins retains the championship yet again, just making that Intercontinental title feel very prestige. And it doesn't look like now that Rollins is going to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match that written in my printed match card. So I guess Rollins is going to have a match at Money in the Bank. Gotta be against, someone like, Jason Jordan or Dean Ambrose, or only God knows who it's going to be. So we will see what happens. Jinder Mahal will probably get the whole arena to walk out if they made an event either show. Probably, because I do not care about this match. All right. Then we had, for the first time tonight, we had a recap of what happened at NBC Universal where Nia Jax pretty much challenged Ronda Rousey to a match at Money in the Bank. Nia Jax challenged Ronda. Ronda didn't challenge Nia. I mean, Ronda mentioned that she felt that, she's only had one match. She doesn't feel she's ready yet. She feels like she wants to, earn everybody else's respect by going through the other competitors on Raw as well, which I heard. I'm like, okay, I can get behind a character like that. Who wants to feel that? But Nia insisted, and then so they accepted it. Yeah, I do feel it's definitely way too early for Ronda Rousey to be having a title match. And also, no offense to her, but of all people, against Nia Jax. I mean, Nia Jax has gotten a little bit better ever since, she did her face turn. But I don't feel like she's really become that big of a star at all yet. Because her feud with Alexa was just, her just a big woman trying to, squash, well, they never really squashed. They gave too much time in their matches. Just squashing, someone small like Alexa Bliss, all the way about bullying and whatnot. I mean, I don't know. It's just, if anybody, I didn't want Ronda Rousey to be taking the Raw Women's Championship off of someone like Nia Jax. Like, if she was going to win that championship, we're going to be off of someone, big. So, yeah, I mean, yes, I kind of I soured on it earlier, but it seemed that, Nia was the one that issued the challenge. Like, okay, at least Ronda will get the character. At least it makes sense that, Ronda admitted that she didn't feel she was ready yet. She wanted to just, earn her way up, but she accepted the challenge or in the match at Money in the Bank. So we'll see what happens. Ron will probably make Jax job to her. Can't see that happening, though. Jax will probably job to Ronda. Nia's injury probably told everyone Alexa wasn't hurt. You were right. Probably covering up because apparently she got plastic surgery, apparently. But then we had Angle backstage talking on the phone, raving about the Ronda and Nia match, which I say rave about because I'll talk about that again towards the end. And enters Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel, calling him on the match we just saw being made before asking for a tag title match. Now that the Miz is gone, they're going to be on their own 2 feet and known as the A-Team. And shoot that down because of copyright reasons. And Bo pitches them as the B Team, where B stands for best. Angle says he appreciates them putting himself over, but they're asking for a title match where they lost the championship last week. And they haven't won a match yet together. And then they suggest that the B team is actually undefeated. And Angle says he'll give them a match if they leave him alone for the rest of the night. And they accept. Then we had, which, as Dakota said, this match actually wasn't too bad. This is probably one of the better matches of the night, surprisingly. Baron Corbin versus Bobby Roode versus No Way Jose in a triple threat match for a Money to Bank. One of the spots is the Money to Bank ladder match, which they kind of did change the design of the briefcase a little bit. They kind of pretty much made the same exact briefcase as last year's, except it's green and not blue. So at least it's a little bit better because last week's design, it just looked like something made out of Play-Doh or clay. It's what it looked like. I mean, it looks better, but I'm still not a big fan of the green. I was hoping they would bring back the design that they had before last year, the gold one that Rollins, Sheamus, and Ambrose had when they were Mr. Money to Bank. But yeah, this match wasn't too bad at all. I thought there was some good, back and forth action narrative. I mean, I was questioning first why No Way Jose was in this match because I felt that he hasn't been up here too long, hasn't really proved himself that much yet. At first, I thought he lost to Corbin last week. Somebody pointed out to me on Twitter that Jose also did lose to Corbin like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Like, you got a point there. So once again, 50-50 booking there, but near one of them win as Bobby Roode, the guy who only beat Elias one time, even though he lost to him twice, wins the match. He's in there. Now, again, I don't hate Bobby Roode, but, he doesn't want to end up on the main roster. So I'm not against this opportunity, but if they're going to give this opportunity, could please just give him something, more intriguing to do to besides just his entrance. Like, literally, the guy was Miz down in NXT pretty much as an arrogant A-lister type heel, pretty much. Well, not an A-lister like the Miz. He's not in Hollywood Productions, but he just had the pro skills and everything. Now he's just a boring baby face up on the main roster. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Are they really going to push the B team, even though they jobbed to Matt and Bray last week? Also, the only team that looks like a threat to Bray and Matt is Ziggler McIntyre. I thought Corbin was going to win. I thought Corbin was going to win also, but No Way Jose was one who took the pin. And then we have, we'll talk about this one a little bit because this is something else I didn't like about this show. Kevin Owens confronts Kurt Angle, demanding a rematch against Seth Rollins for all the trouble he's been through the past year. Angle asks him what he's going to do about it, and Owens says he'll call Stephanie McMahon, act like a little child, saying, I'm going to tell on you. And Kurt says he's tired of being threatened. Owens says it's not a threat, it's reality. So Angle goes to the trainer's room and sees Jinder being taped up pretty much based off of the attack, even though Roman didn't really do much to him besides just throw a box into his stomach. So that probably what did it. But Kurt says the match is still going to be on tonight because it's the last night for qualifiers, even though we have how many weeks left? We still have over a month left till the pay-per-view. You don't have to have the qualifying matches done tonight. We're going to spread them out a little bit more. Even though it's not clearly the last ever qualifiers, because the women's matches still need to happen. So that no continuity there at all. Jinder says he's going to wrestle if he has to, and he'll qualify to be in the match. Then we had Breezango versus Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel, and all called themselves the B team. Match was what it was. B team win. So they win a match. So I don't know if this is a way to finally take Dallas and Axel seriously. I mean, I've always thought they were two underrated talents that definitely deserve the opportunities, but they've been turning into certified jobbers for life pretty much over the past several years. So this at least gets them going and gets them, the tag title hunt eventually. I say eventually. I don't mean, next pay-per-view. It means, a little further down the line. Build them up to take it so we can take them seriously definitely when it happens. But yeah, the B team went with a back suplex / neck breaker combination on Fandango. I can't believe that Owens is whoever Rollins won fair and square. Owens is a whiner. Rollins won fair and square. He did. They are pushing the men's fast so they can put them against each other in the coming weeks. I like Matt and Bray's finisher now, the Kiss of Deletion. Yes, that is a pretty cool finisher. I like that name, the Kiss of Deletion. Yep. So that was that. And then we have them being interviewed afterwards as they're now continue to be undefeated, as they claim. Axel says that just happened, and Bo says anything is possible for the B team now. Curtis calls out Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy and says they're coming for the Raw Tag Team Championships, leading the crowd to a shockingly vigorous B team chant. So, they wanted to see, of course, we wanted to see, guys like Axel and Dallas get the opportunity. So, I mean, hopefully this does start something good for them, but I'm not going to get too hyped up for it yet. As there's one team that I'm very hyped up for that Dakota just mentioned in the live chat. So hopefully things will work out for them. Then we have this pointless match: Ember Moon, Natalya, and Sasha Banks versus the Riot Squad. Don't know why this match even happened. It was so pointless. Why? Like, why was it necessary to happen? Like, what went down here? I don't know. And especially the fact also that Liv Morgan was the one who carried the offense. Like, no offense, Liv Morgan looks so weak in this stable. I mean, yes, she's smaller and whatnot, but especially with this book with the Riot Squad, she's one person I feel like looks the weakest out of all of them. Like Sarah Logan, not too good either. Yes, she has the size. She's definitely could be a good powerhouse women's wrestler, but it's not working out for her. And of course, Ruby Riott. They said during this match that this is the way Ruby Riott has built her career for herself. Only care about herself and her fellow Riot Squad members. I'm like, did you watch her at all down at NXT? She was a freaking baby face, for crying out loud, who, was doing whatever she had to do to win pretty much, but she wasn't, pulling all these little heel tactics, having this random attitude coming up and being something completely different than she was down at NXT. This wasn't Ruby Riott. Actually, I'm sorry. Ruby Riott with only one T was down at NXT. This is Ruby Riott with two T's who's booked like crap because none of her booking makes any sense because they're literally just trying to carbon copy what they're going to do with Paige and Absolution. That's all they were doing. But I'm going to continue around the Riot Squad. This match was pointless. Natalya won with a sharpshooter on Liv Morgan, whatever. And then we had hype up for a match later on tonight. We're going to get Braun Strowman and Finn Balor versus Ziggler and McIntyre. We had a handicap promo by them. Then we had the Deleters of Worlds, Bray Wyatt, Matt Hardy versus the Revival. I mean, yeah, the Raw Tag Team Division really has nothing much going for them right now. Really, there's none of these teams all the teams are not taken seriously, but at least Wyatt and Hardy are continuing to pick up victories to continue. I mean, I like them, but I definitely think the lack of depth and the lack of talent, the talent that could be built up well in this tag team division. Of course, Authors of Pain apparently was on main event tonight, the show, not on the main shows. So I guess WWE doesn't like them now for some reason. Don't know why. But they're doing the best they can with Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy to make them be strong, tag team champions. They're picking up wins, so. I don't know. I'd say either McIntyre or Ziggler or the B team are going to probably challenge them on Money in the Bank. So they win with a kiss of deletion on Scott Dawson. We have Bayley walking backstage. Then Sasha pops out to wish her luck before we go to break. Which my thing is, it's like just pretend this is never happened. Because now I feel like this is all just water under the bridge. Now all this build for how many months now between these two, the tensions having is just going nowhere now. Now that everything's just okay and it doesn't even exist. Okay, I see how it is. Oh gosh, I gotta talk about this next. Well, first off, this is one thing that I honestly felt shouldn't have happened tonight. We have how many weeks left till Money in the Bank? If we really are going to do a match between these two at Money in the Bank, this match, I mean, this segment could have stayed the same until next week, because especially this last hour, there was so much stuff that happened in this third hour of Raw, and it just felt like too much to take in. So Sami Zayn came out, and apparently, we had, Zayn and Owens have some tension at at Backlash, and now what? They're going their separate ways now. They may said they were fine last week, and then they didn't really follow up on anything much at all last week. So now they're on their own again. So Sammy came out, and he asked if anybody's noticed that Prince Harry looks like him. And from what he hears, he's quite a big fan, actually. More so than, let's say, Bobby Lashley, Mr. Jacked Up, Mr. Intense. He leads WWE for 10 years, decides to make his big return on the very same night that Sami Zayn returns to Raw. And to his credit, he looks like $1 million. But the problem is he tried to do it at Sami's expense. And Sami rolls the tape, delayed the vertical suplex that apparently gave him vertigo. And Sami says the crowd cheered and cheered and cheered louder still when he went crashing to the mat. But did anyone think of the effect that it had on him? No, and because of that, he has vertigo now. The first ever documented case of vertigo in WWE history. The crowd thinks it's funny, but Sami's doctors does not. He wrote a note. So Sami pulls out his reading glasses, which again are just very random. Didn't know Sami couldn't read. He reads the definition of vertigo as affecting motor skills and uses that as an explanation for why he wasn't in the greatest Royal Rumble, why he lost his qualifier match last week, and why he's lost every other match ever since then. And it's because of Bobby Lashley victimizing him. And why? To impress the crowd? That's disgusting. And worse, it's working. And then he plays part of that interview with Bobby Lashley talking about his sisters. Again, last week I thought, because it was coming to my attention, people were pointing out to me, you realize that Bobby Lashley hasn't really talked at all ever since he came back. Which I'm like, you know what, you got a point there. That is true. Yes, I think he's not bad in the ring, and of course I can compare him to somebody else on Raw, Apollo Crews, because I think that both of them are very similar in style, pretty much. And I wouldn't mind. I even thought the case. Well, I never see much of Bobby Lashley, but I'd heard of him, seen some highlights from him, and thought he was a pretty good wrestler. And then when Apollo was in NXT, I thought, you know what, I wouldn't mind somebody seeing the match between Apollo Crews and Bobby Lashley. Well, now they both have something in common. They could both wrestle, but they both don't have a character at all. Because last week, all we found out was that, Bobby Lashley was pretty much had the question of who is Bobby Lashley going in one year, not the other. So all he talked about was his family and his 3 sisters. That's all we learned from there, is that Bobby Lashley had 3 sisters. So played that. And afterwards, first, Sami starts ranting about apparently, first he says that the fact that apparently Bobby was wearing his hacks. He's wearing that, Sherlock Holmes hat that Sami Zayn wears. I kind of want one of those. He makes sense that Lashley targeted him, though, because he wants to be him. Especially starts with the hat. And all of his life, he's learned to trust his instincts, and those instincts told him Lashley has something to hide. So Sami went on Facebook and reached out to Bobby's sisters, and they had a story to tell. They were nothing like Lashley described, and from what they said, he's not the person he portrays himself to be either. But don't take his word for it, because you can ask his sisters, since he's invited to appear on Raw next week, and with them in attendance, he'll expose the real Bobby Lashley. Guys, last year, it'll be almost exactly a year, actually, since this happened. I never saw this segment last year. But remember last year, I think it was the May 29th edition of Raw last year, they had the This Is Your Life Bailey segment. Again, a segment that to this day, I have never seen that segment. And I never want to, because of what I hear, how bad it was. This feud and this segment just smells that. I smell like the same material right there, the same terrible material. Bobby Lashley, This Is Your Life, pretty much, being exposed with his sisters coming to Raw. We're having a feud with Sami Zayn and Bobby Lashley revolving around Bobby Lashley's sisters. This was awkward. This was just weird. I think Bobby Lashley's a good wrestler for the few weeks I've seen him wrestle, but he has no character. And this is not going to help at all. This is just, it's giving me terrible flashbacks of last year. It's not going to work. It's not going to work, guys. It's not going to work. What we got in the live chat? The B team's finisher is called a whiplash neckbreaker. Only reason I know is because it's a move on 2K18. Oh, the B team has a new entrance. It's not that bad. It wasn't too bad. Also, Mandy's getting a push. She's supposed to turn babyface. I'd be all right with that. When Sonya and her are feuding, okay, I'd be fine. Except I like Mandy more than Sonya. Joe Anderson, what's your dream match? There's a lot of them. But thank you for joining me in the live chat. Lashley will win the feud. Probably. He wasn't allowed in the Greatest Royal Rumble because Saudi Arabia won't allow him to compete. And Lashley is actually really good at cutting promos. Watch a few TNA clips. He's better than most of them in WWE. And I'll take your word for it, definitely. But they haven't given him the opportunity to really talk much. I don't blame it on him. I'm not going to hate on Lashley for that. I definitely think he's exciting in the ring. But it's true, though. He really hasn't done much on the microphone to allow people to get to know, who is this guy? This is just right now. He looks like some guy who's just showing up and just doing stuff. It's like, wait, who are you? Like, what? Who are you? I'll also be talking about Sami Zayn at the end of this review, also based off of what happened in the main event. Keep stuff coming to the live chat, guys. We had Alexa Bliss and Bayley and Mickie James in the Money in the Bank qualifying match. I had bad feeling about this match because I thought it was just going to be just like how it was. Remember back in 2016, I think it was the go-home show for Hell in a Cell. They had that triple threat match, Owens, Rollins, and Jericho, and it was pretty much just a 2-on-1 handicap the whole entire match. I mean, again, nothing was on the line. I mean, this is for a qualifying match, so most of the match was just Alexa Bliss and Mickie James being down on Bayley. A couple of tendencies here and there between Alexa and Mickie, which, again, why are they still together in the first place? Never explained why. It just woke up one morning, Mickie James like, okay, Alexa and I are best friends again. Didn't make any sense. But Alexa Bliss won the match, the DDT qualified for a women's Money in the Bank ladder match. So, I mean, I'm not sure what we're getting for SmackDown tomorrow. I mean, I know they're probably going to have just another one-on-one match, but they still have 2 more spots left. I'm pretty sure we're getting at least a second chance match. Like what? Like, Natalya, Dana Brooke, and remember the Riot Squad, and another one. No, thank you. Not interested at all. But it's probably going to be having a second chance match some way. Either Sasha or Bayley, one of them's going to get in there, definitely. Michael Hayes hates Lashley. I think he is trying to finish burying Lashley. He called Lashley the N-word back in 2018, and that's why Lashley left in the first place. Oh, geez. That's terrible. I wonder why Lashley would want to come back and still work with Michael Hayes if he said something offensive like that. And we had Jinder Mahal. We had a recap of the opening segment again with Roman and Jinder. And we have Jinder Mahal being informed he's clear to compete, and he vows that he should show the world why he's the modern-day Maharaja. And he's living out of trainer's room, and all of a sudden, Roman Reigns comes out of nowhere and spears him through the wall. So Jinder's out of the match. I ranted about it earlier, but they were treating Jinder like a babyface tonight. But I'm not buying it. I'm not cheering for either one in this match. In this feud, I'm taking a stand here. I'm not giving anybody a chance in this feud. I don't buy it. I didn't care at all with Roman spearing Jinder through the wall. And of course, he was told that he was not going to be able to be in the match, so he's going to have to find a replacement for him. So I had some ideas, and I'll speculate, and I'll tell you who they were after I get through this match. Which this match wasn't too bad. This was a tag team match. Braun Strowman and Finn Balor taking on Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. Now, I was a little concerned first because I thought it was, okay, are they really going to have Braun Strowman, lose a match? But at the same time, I wanted to see Ziggler and McIntyre win because they've had a lot of good momentum going so far. And I'm very into them being a tag team. I'm very interested in this. I mean, I like to see, McIntyre get a main event push, as he most definitely deserves. But I was hoping they would win this match and maybe be the ones to challenge Wyatt and Hardy for the Raw Tag Champions at Money in the Bank. Because honestly, I feel at that point, I mean, I do like the Leaders of Worlds, but I feel that Ziggler and McIntyre are still becoming the hottest tag team on Raw right now. This match though was fun. We had teases of a match between McIntyre and Strowman though, which I feel that should be a WrestleMania match. Drew McIntyre versus Braun Strowman. That could be an amazing match, I feel. And they're both big guys, similar styles. I mean, they're big guys, but they're like, I feel that they can mesh very well together. So I like to see that. Towards the end of the match, though, I wonder if this was a botch or this was supposed to happen. But I guess Strowman went to just run McIntyre over like a freight train or whatever. And he hits into McIntyre. McIntyre's foot bumps Strowman's greatest Royal Rumble trophy, and it broke. So I don't know if that was supposed to happen or if it was an accident. But afterwards, Balor was up top to hit the coup de grace on Ziggler, but then McIntyre interfered, and then Ziggler took advantage and knocked Balor off the turnbuckle and did a lateral press to get the victory. So like, okay, I was glad to see it get the win. Because, again, like I said, I thought they're definitely becoming one of the hottest acts. But I'd love to see that, Claymore to the zigzag finish. That finish is so sick. I love it. But they get the victory, so they probably have probably the most momentum in the Raw tag team division. Hopefully they'll get a tag title match maybe at Money in the Bank. We'll see what happens. And then once again, we had a recap again. And it's not that they showed part of it. They showed the whole thing again of the announcement of Ronda Rousey and Nia Jax for Money in the Bank. That whole thing we saw earlier in the show, we saw it again. And then afterwards, we had Kurt Angle on the phone acting like he just heard about it the first time. He was talking to Stephanie McMahon. So I'm just like, seriously, guys. Again, there's too much content on the show. So then we have Kurt on the phone talking about how Jinder is out of the match for tonight, and he sent Roman away. He thinks he has a perfect replacement for Money in the Bank, but it's very obvious Stephanie has another competitor in mind. So I'm just like, oh, don't tell me they're going to just do that and just kill my excitement for the surprise. So we had our main event. It's Bobby Lashley versus Elias, and it was supposed to be Jinder Mahal, but I mean a mystery partner, a mystery opponent. I thought it could have been Dean Ambrose, maybe Jason Jordan making his return. It's been rumored he's supposed to be coming back soon. And I thought, we're in England. What if Neville made his return? And I got my hopes up just a little bit. They're not going to just foil us in some stupid way, pretty much. I mean, they could, send out, who Kurt wanted to put in the match, and Owens attacks them pretty much or whatever. But sure enough, Elias comes out. He barely gets started with his entrance. And all of a sudden, instead of having just Lashley come out next, Owens just came right out. Just, here's the thing, though, also. Here's what I'll wait till after I finish talking about this match before I rant on this whole thing with, Kevin Owens and the Authority starting to get old. Let's see here. That wall was cardboard. Might have been. Maybe it was a double turn. I don't know. Yeah, I thought Jordan would return also. When Jordan Ambrose returns, they will have a good mid-card heel and a good main event heel. They will, definitely. Strowman didn't get much offense. That's true. And the reason Cass lost, yeah, I heard about that thing with him going off script. Yeah, it definitely made him a big-time heel. Ambrose probably not going to return till SummerSlam. That would have been epic, definitely. So we have the match. Match goes on. It was all right. Anything special. And then towards the end of the match, though, when it looked like Bobby Lashley was getting ready to win, Sami Zayn came running out and pulled Lashley out and just beat him down, him with the haluva kick. And then he helped Owens beat Elias pretty much for a while. Here's also, Elias actually was probably the most over out of anyone in this match. The crowd was cheering for him. There was one point in the match where he stopped the match and asked for his guitar and, started playing and singing, but then Owens came out of nowhere and started attacking him again because they were double teaming. But then Elias, was getting behind the crowd. He's like, "Hey, they're behind me." And Owens like, "I don't care." So Owens hits a frog splash on Elias, gets the victory, thanks to the help of Sami Zayn. Here's the issues I had with this. So first off, they're teasing some random tension again between Owens and Zayn last week, and now they're acting like nothing happened again. It's happened kind of a little once too many times, I feel, at this point. Because I remember sometime around Fastlane, they mentioned somehow how, yes, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn don't fully like each other as opposed to. But they have a common enemy. So that's why they still stick together. Because they have a common enemy. Well, this whole thing at this point is starting to feel like, like some type of relationship that people keep breaking up and get back together, breaking up and get back together. And it's like you have to be around all the time to just witness what's going on. You feel like you're somewhat, involved in this in some way. That's what this is starting to feel. So that kind of bothered me. Again, Owens coming out second instead of, coming out last. It was just like, it ruined the surprise. And the thing also is if Owens had a match earlier on against Rollins. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but if this was not under Owens, demands, Owens would be complaining about being put in this match because he had a match earlier on that night. He doesn't want to wrestle again. And then also, this whole thing with Owens and the Authority, no offense. I love Kevin Owens. I don't hate Kevin Owens. But this whole thing with Owens and him wanting the Authority all the time, it's kind of starting to get a little bit old. We've seen this happen throughout the past year, and it's continuing to happen, and it's not fresh to me anymore. At least, yes, the whole thing with Sami Zayn and Bobby Lashley is awkward as heck, but, at least, it's having Sami, venture away from this whole, I have to be, pissed off at the Authority all the time storyline. At least it's venturing away from there. And also, why is Stephanie McMahon doing favors and playing favorites with the same guy who beat down her father last year? And she came out to even save Vince on SmackDown. Where's the logic here? Where's the continuity? It makes no sense. Again, I was digging, the whole pairing with Owens and Zayn on SmackDown, and then when they went over to Raw, I'm like, okay, they can maybe continue being a tag team or something, but now it's just awkward. I feel like Sammy's going his own way, but they're still making something. They're together, they're not together, not together. Honest truth, I feel they should have put them on separate brands for this year's Superstar Shake. I feel like they may have ran their course together for now, being on the same brand. It could have been better. It could have been best to have them both go on separate brands for even if it's for just a year. Just a year. I mean, I don't know how they would have wrote a storyline for Sami getting back on SmackDown, but I think it's starting to run its course. Because this whole thing with them being friends, not being friends, as soon as, Sami does a favor for Owens, Owens loves him again, but as soon as, he doesn't, then they hate each other again. So it's like, it looks like just a very unhealthy friendship at this point, pretty much. You know what I mean? But yeah, I was fired up. I was ready to rant a lot more, but this show just really just wore the heck out of me, guys. I'm pretty darn tired. Let's see here. That would have been epic. At least he hit a better finisher, LOL, because he beat her brother up more. They are like a married couple, Sami and Kevin are. By the way, New Day is breaking up. I have heard rumors about, with Big E getting a singles push, which I wouldn't mind seeing it happen at all. I mean, even though I kind of wanted to see, Cesaro get his singles push a little bit more, but I wouldn't mind seeing Big E getting a singles push also. But, Big E being rumored to win Money in the Bank, I'd be fine with that, because not really anybody on Raw right now I really wanted to see. I mean, SmackDown is when I'm seeing Rusev. Balor was the only person so far I'd say I want to see win Money in the Bank. Braun, I'll find passable, but probably not my first pick with Braun. But yeah, guys, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you again for the code for tuning in to this live review. Again, I'm sorry I kind of sound drained out, but this show just wore me out big time. Literally, I almost fell asleep during the show. That's why I did the gag of falling asleep before I started this review. So going to my polls here on Twitter. 4 votes. We're ready to give this episode of Raw after a 3-hour snooze fest. 4 votes. 1 person said A. 1 person said B. Nobody said C. And 2 said D or lower. And I'm going to have to go in that D or lower category as I give this episode of Raw a D+. There were some, decent matches, but just everything a lot of the stuff on the show just felt pointless, weird, annoying. Raw just falling downhill big time. I mean, yes, I get they wanted to even out the depth, and yes, it could have given them opportunities to build up these guys who could use more opportunities, that they weren't getting on SmackDown with more time on Raw, but it's not working. I mean, and I blame it on creative. There's people out on this roster that have the talent, but there's not booking right, and we're just getting the terrible booking of I'm lost for words. I just need to get to bed. The code gives us a D also. Okay, I give this a D+. Guys, thanks again for tuning in for this live review of Raw. Oh, Robbie, what's going on, man? Robbie, after tonight's episode of Raw, we desperately need you big time. Let's get that plug out for Robbie as always, guys. Again, Robbie One Kenobi. Robbie, I challenge you to get back onto your channel as soon as possible. Please pitch some more ideas. Because especially with how bad Backlash is. I mean, SmackDown was good last week, but Raw especially has just gone downhill since the Superstar shakeup. Robbie has a lot of great ideas. He wants to be a writer for WWE. Make sure to get hashtag please sign Robbie trending on Twitter as soon as possible, please. Yes, time for that cheap plug. Well, it's not cheap at all because it's a very important plug, definitely. So hashtag please sign Robbie. And also, because I heard rumors that apparently Tyson Kidd was the one who wrote the match for Seth Rollins and The Miz at Backlash. The only good thing about Backlash was that match. Hashtag also promote Tyson Kidd. I can't say fire Road Dogg because, SmackDown's been a little bit better, but, I still don't fully trust Road Dogg. We need to launch the campaign. You, me, Daniel, Gene, and the whole crew. Yes, we have to. A full-blown campaign. Yeah, think of something. It definitely would be a wise idea to do that, Robbie. But yes, hashtag please sign Robbie and hashtag promote Tyson Kidd. Get those trending on Twitter. So guys, can I get this episode of Raw a D+? I'm tired. I'm gonna straight to bed after I can take my shower. What grade would you guys give this week's episode of Raw? Leave thoughts down in the comment section below. And be sure to always click my like and subscribe to this channel. Follow me on Twitter at DemandAir93. If you haven't done so already, also make sure to check out my Bridget match card for NXT TakeOver Chicago 2 and Money in the Bank. I made those late last week. And then I'll be up here live tomorrow night for SmackDown Live. So, so Robbie, Dakota, thank you guys for tuning in for this live review of Raw. I'm checking out. Until then, guys, I'll catch y'all later. Have a great night. Peace, everybody.